I've been in tech now probably pre Web3 for 8 years. And I always find that when you're in fields like marketing and things like that, you can find a lot of women. And then the minute you kind of branch outside of those, you start to see those numbers really going down. And so I was initially very hesitant to enter the world of Web3 because it felt very intimidating to me.
So I wanted to be a part of a community with women, and I wanted to be working with women and to help to leverage technology to be able to solve some of our most pressing issues. And so that's actually how I happened upon the group that we're actually talking about today. It was really honestly looking for like-minded women who cared about women and who cared about their issues, and then looking for ways to use technology to solve those problems.
And I think joining a community where you have other people, you see representation, you get a network of people you can kind of rely on, even if it's passively following their journey. I really feel like it kind of makes it seem more possible and kind of takes it almost back within reach.
So building a community for women in technology is really about creating a safe environment for really everyone. Although it starts with women, I think that when you are in consideration of women, it's a natural byproduct or an outcome that you are in consideration of everyone involved.
I really saw the value in women coming together and being able to offer each other collaboration opportunities, mentorship, funding in ways that I haven't seen before.
Quite frankly, we all know about the disparities in tech, both on the founder side and on the investor side, even though on the user side, everybody uses tech equally. But I felt like women, we don't have enough of a seat at the table to be able to offer our perspectives to help build the technology that we're all using.
F3 stands for Funding Female Founders, but the real story, that's my public story. In 2022, when my co-founder Val and I were at the depths of our sorrow in our fundraising journeys, we sought one another, again, just looking for community to not only hold ourselves accountable for the process and being responsible to what we endeavored to do, and that was raise funding for our organizations, for our businesses. And along the way, the research showed us glaringly that less than 3% of all venture capital goes to women-led ventures. We're both just fuck that. And so F3 in its origins is about funding female founders as a big fuck you to that 3%. This entire endeavor is about paying women what they're worth, championing women who are up and coming by celebrating women, by putting them onto stages, empowering them to use their voices and share their stories.
I would honestly say, you know what, my experience has been fantastic. And just even for this conference alone, just the support that they've given women is support that I haven't seen.
Oh my God, okay, so my experience with F3 has been a whirlwind. I had an amazing opportunity to meet the community, specifically Annie and Val. It was honestly love at first sight. It's a really rare thing to find a group of women that are as motivated, that are as passionate about doing things differently and being the change they wanted to see in the world.
They support the women that they've brought to this conference, and I think that's huge because you do need a support system, especially in a new space. It's kind of nascent and foreign in many ways. To have that critical mass around you, to have that support system around you is invaluable, and I think that's what they've done, and that's what Annie and Val have brought to the table.
Since that moment that we sort of kind of locked eyes and fell in love, it's kind of just been this journey ever since of finding ways to work together, to collaborate together, to bring more solutions for, to women, to being able to support them and to champion them.
Number one, I want to commend them for all the work they're doing because they're incredible women, incredible human beings doing such incredible things. They need to be supported too, just the way they support women.
I'm hoping that F3 will continue to champion for the values that they stand behind. I'm really hoping that they can continue to provide education, funding, and opportunities for women in the space to build with one another, especially around the ideas of regeneration.
I am really excited for all of you to take that to the next step, which ideally, would be raising a fund and supporting more female founders in these emerging tech spaces.
I'm really keen on decentralization, so I really believe that organizations work better when we have all people involved in the decision making.
I am very passionate about changing like the existing paradigms, the economic and financial paradigms that exist within the venture capitalism ecosystem as a whole. So I would like to maybe try out a few new strategies to see if that is able to change some of the negative aspects.
I would hope that F3 would be able to stand for or create standards on how these other players can operate so that they can create safe ecosystems for women.
Women showed up en masse. And not only did they show up with their sisters, they showed up with their aunts, their moms, their grandmothers, their children. We had fathers driving across the border from the US just so that they could ensure their daughters were surrounded by women who could be their mentors.
So I actually work on an initiative for getting more women to not only come into technology and engineering with Engineers Without Borders, but also like stay in technology. So I think part of that is about changing the culture that exists in like different work environments, as well as like maybe figuring out different ways of creating the educational resources.
Creating opportunities for women to be in those spaces, creating representation, like I think that really matters for me personally. And also just really not missing out on great ideas because, you know, we're not creating a space where everyone can contribute.
I want to speak more specifically about Web3 because Web3 to me is about finding your purpose, honing in on your purpose, and it's a movement where it's thinking for collectives, and women innately think for collectives. It's just what we do, it's how we are, it's how we think, especially the moms, because I know, you know, F3V is about rebuilding the matriarchy, which to me, you know, no one's better suited to think for collectives than moms, because we do it innately, we do it, you know, naturally, and it's just how we're programmed.
My dream is just in general that like technology, venture capital investing, like scalable businesses are founded and run by, and people who work in them proportionately reflect our population. So in the case of women, for example.
A lot of the female entrepreneurs I've seen throughout my life, very few of them are there for, you know, just, you know, making the money. They really want to build things for the purpose, for a purpose.
If women make up over half of the population, then we should be over half of the capital allocators, and we should be over half of the founders out there. And that goes for people of color as well. And I won't stop until that happens.
Oh my God, I'm getting like emotional about it because I think about, you know, my whole life being in my masculine energy has served me so well. It feels like a game that I won, which is exactly the spirit of it, right? But when you are in your feminine energy, when you are in recognition that the love you bring to the world, the care, the kindness, and the consideration, all of that sort of disappears, and it makes you wonder, like, who was I for the last however many years? But I hope for women in tech, it's like, okay, technology is just this tool, this resource, this platform for us to be able to do really amazing things for the world, for ourselves, for community, and to not get lost in that along the way, and remember that, like, at the end of it all, who we're serving and why we're serving is so much greater than what the patriarchy has told us.
Hopefully that came out cute.
Awesome.
I love a good mug with a good snog.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies.
Sorry, that wasn't clear.